Hey, what's up YouTube? Scotty Tradition back with another video. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since my last video that I made. Thought I'd jump on here and just say hello, kind of give you an update on some things. And yeah, fun time of year for sports fans. You got the NFL draft going. You got baseball starting. You have playoff NBA basketball going on. So definitely a lot on the plate if you're a sports fan. I did get one pickup that came in earlier this month. So I guess we'll go ahead and show that one right away. This card is from 2005, Absolute Memorabilia. And let me just show that to you here. It's the beautiful card. This is the Robin Yount. This is numbered 9 out of 10. Show you the back quick. Beautiful card right there. And you get a little bit of everything in this card. You got the helmet, hat, bat, pants, and jersey. So, pretty unique card right there. This came up for sale with another card, just like this. I was the underbidder on that one, so I didn't win out on that one, but I did win one of them, so I was pretty happy with that. That was my only pickup. It's been very, in the pickup department, not a lot of pickups. I was the underbidder on 2 other cards this month that I just missed out on that would have been pretty decent additions to the collection, but other than that, just a mixture of not a lot of things coming up for sale, and just some things going slightly higher than I'm willing to pay for them right now. And sometimes you have that. I had an awesome end to last year. Last year was just a great overall year from the collection, and this year has been pretty slow to start the first 4 months here. Again, I have one pickup here in the last 3 months, and that was the Robin Yount right there. So I kind of been focused on some other things along the way. But yeah, pickup game just kind of on a little bit of a hiatus now, but I'm sure I'll pick up 1 or 2 things coming up in the future here. I do have a 5-card submission out with Garrett at Slab City. So that should hopefully be coming back in the next month or 2. And then I will show you guys those. And other than that, yeah, not a lot going on in the pickups department. So yeah, as far as sports goes, NFL draft last night, one of my favorite times of year. Always enjoy watching the NFL draft. The Packers picked number 25, and they ended up with a offensive tackle out of Arizona, Jordan Morgan. Was probably not the pick that most experts had them taken around that time. Ironically, most of Packerland and anybody that follows kind of had him taking either Graham Barton, the offensive lineman center out of Duke, or Cooper DeJean, the safety / corner, do-it-all defensive guy, special teams guy out of Iowa. Barton actually went the next pick, 26 to Tampa Bay, and DeJean from Iowa is actually still on the board. So Packers have 4 picks tonight, 2 in the second round, 2 in the third round, so we'll see what they do. But yeah, they end up with Jordan Morgan. It's kind of like he had an injury 2 years ago where he tore his ACL in college for Arizona. Listed as an offensive tackle. He does have a little bit of short arms for an offensive tackle. So a lot of people project him actually as a guard, but I think the Packers think he could play any number of positions, and I know that's why they drafted him. That's just who they draft. If you look at some of their other linemen, like Zach Tom, who's a starter and a really good player, they drafted in, I think, the 3rd or 4th round a couple years ago. And then also Elton Jenkins. Both those guys are studs and can move around at multiple different positions. The name of the game for the Packers is versatility. So that's what this guy has, potentially. Versatility, and he's a little raw in some areas, so they're going to have to develop him for another year or so. Most of the expert big boards had him as the 40th best player overall. So some would say it was a little bit of a reach for the Packers to take him at 25. They might have been able to get him with their first pick in the second round, but you just never know. I think they identified him and they wanted him. Terrion Arnold, the corner out of Alabama, was going to almost still be on the board and then the Lions traded with Dallas at 24 and snuck in and grabbed him. But then again, the Packers had their pick in right away after that. They did not hesitate at all. And the Packers actually were fielding calls from the Lions apparently as well to try to trade that pick. So I think they knew that the Lions were coming up for Arnold. I don't think they really wanted Arnold, to be honest, the corner from Alabama, but he would have been an intriguing prospect too. So they end up getting none of the people that the most of the people were talking about, and they get a total. They make a total Packers pick, and get like a developmental offensive lineman who has great traits, great measurables, minus the slightly short arms. He doesn't have that great a tape. He's gotten beat on some occasions, but did look really good in the Senior Bowl. He didn't lose one matchup the entire Senior Bowl, so Packers do tend to rely on that quite a bit. And then you look at some of the other stuff in the division. Obviously, the Bears had the number 1 and number 9 pick and draft Caleb Williams, the, I guess, consensus best quarterback in the draft. And they get one of the best wide receivers in the draft in Rome Odunze out of Washington. So it's hard to, even as a Packer fan, it's hard to say like the Bears didn't have a good draft. Obviously, time will tell. Bears have not proven to be very good at developing quarterbacks over the years, so we'll see what they do with Caleb Williams. Odunze, I think, is going to be a good receiver either way. Bears don't have a ton of more picks left, though. They have some really high end picks here, and then they don't have picks for a while, if my understanding is correct. And then you got the Vikings, who had 2 picks in the first round too. They take the quarterback J.J. McCarthy. I don't think, had to give up too much to come get him, but they did have to give up some capital for the next year, 2025. So McCarthy goes, who he could end up being pretty good for them, I think. We'll have to see how that goes. And then they draft Dallas Turner, the edge rusher out of Alabama, who they gave up a little more capital to move up for too. And a lot of people think he was maybe, the first or second best edge rusher to kind of come off the board. So it could have worked out pretty good for them too. And then you got the Lions that traded up in front of the Packers and grabbed Terrion Arnold. So lots of talented players coming into the NFC North. And then the Packers go like developmental offensive tackle, which is hilarious. That's just a total Packers move. Packers can be kind of interesting in the first round sometimes. Usually they take high-end guys. Last year they took Lucas Van Ness, guys that have like really high athletic ability and scores that they want to try to mold into like Packer players. And then this guy kind of fits that role along with his versatility. But where they really make their hay typically is in the middle rounds of the draft, especially the early mid rounds. Second round, third round, fourth round, they're historically good in those areas. So we'll see what they end up doing today. I'm really excited to watch the draft tonight. Then you got the Bucks in the playoffs against the Pacers right now. The series is tied at 1-1, and man, it's just a bit of a buzzkill because Giannis is hurt, still has the left soleus, the calf strain, unfortunately, so he's dealing with that. And then Middleton tweaked his ankle last game, so they are far from 100%. And now they're going back to Indianapolis with the series tied 1-1. My confidence level with the Bucks is pretty low, to be honest. They've had a weird year with firing a coach halfway through the season, and I do think they are on a better, a better trajectory under Doc Rivers. But I don't love Doc Rivers either. I think they should have honestly hired Nick Nurse in the postseason, and he should have been their coach. But obviously, Nurse ends up going to Philadelphia. I think they may have overthought it a bit, but I think Giannis had a lot to do with what the Bucks did and who they hired. And in this case, I think Giannis wanted Adrian Griffin and not Nick Nurse, because I guess Nick Nurse can be a little prickly. But he's probably the better coach. And now Nurse is in Philly, which kind of sucks. It's 1-1. They're still not going to have Giannis. I don't even know if Giannis is going to be available for this series, so they're going to have to win this series without Giannis somehow. And I don't know how they're going to do it. They just don't have enough defense to stop like the tall, long players that the Indiana Pacers have. They need Giannis, if anything, for his defense. They just don't have people that can clog up that middle and stop. I can't tell you how many open layups the Pacers had last game in Milwaukee, and I think they shot 55 or 56% for the game, and you're just not going to win a lot of games in this league while allowing your opponent to shoot that well. So, unfortunately, some bad injury timing for the Bucks. I don't know how the series is going to go. Obviously, I'll be rooting for them, but it's going to take a lot to beat a long, quick team like the Pacers without your best players. Seeding does not matter. It's just the Bucks do not match up well against the Pacers. So they're going to need some otherworldly, heroic performances from Dame Lillard, and going to need some other people to step up as well. So we'll see. The Brewers. Hey, the Brewers have started the season very well. I think they're like 15 or 16-8 right now. I mean, they lost Corbin Burns. Their stud closer Williams is on the disabled list for like 3 months with an injury. They don't have Brandon Woodruff. He's out all year with a shoulder injury, and somehow these young pitchers are just, so far anyways, are just kind of hanging in there. Um, Kind of a downside is they're utilizing their bullpen a ton, which isn't great. These guys could get burned out by the All Star break. Who knows? But right now, they're having fun. They're super young. My expectations are pretty low, so that's kind of actually a good thing for once. Just to kind of watch these games for fun, and if they win, great, and if not, I'm not too upset about it. So they've been kind of a fun watch to start the year. So pretty happy about that. And then the other thing in sports lately has been the transfer portal stuff in college hoops, and like as a Badger fan, I'm kind of distraught. Like Badgers did not have a great end of the year last year. They end up with a 5 seed, not terrible, but they underachieved the second half of the year for sure, and then get bounced first round of the NCAA tournament, which isn't great. And then you have AJ Storr, who was their kind of standout player that transferred in from St. John's last year. He transfers out again and goes to Kentucky, obviously for more money, more NIL. Um, I think I read that AJ Storr hasn't played for more than like 1 year for a team for like 6 straight years. Like he's been on different teams the last 6 years of his high school and college career. Like that's how much he bounces around, and perhaps that's just the new way of things. But I don't have to like it. Um, you barely get a chance to know any of these players, and they're gone after a year. And I think that just kind of like muddies the brand a little bit. Like you don't get to know these players. It's hard to be a fan when you see these players for less than a year and they're gone on to something else, get more money. Connor Essegian, who was like freshman of the year last year in the Big Ten type player, he transfers out to Nebraska. That one I get a little more because he wasn't playing a lot, and which is fine. If he wants to try a different system, I'm totally okay with Connor Essegian transferring. That's kind of more what it's designed for. The transfer portal is designed for those players who aren't playing much to get another opportunity somewhere else and not have to be locked in. Totally understand that and would totally support that. Or if like a coach, up and leaves you, I think you should be able to transfer then. Maybe there needs to be just like a limit on how many times you can transfer. Maybe it's once or twice. Just something. There needs to be some kind of like uh, somewhat regulations in place. Otherwise, it's just a complete shit show every year, and you don't, like you said, you don't get to know any of these players. You don't get to build a program, and it sucks. But what makes it worse is that Chucky Hepburn, their senior point guard, is transferring to Louisville. Louisville didn't even make the NCAA tournament last year, but apparently they have more NIL money to offer, and so you got guys that are been developing in the program for 3 years, and they're just transferring on a whim because they know it's a chance to make money. Hard to fault them for wanting to make money, but it's just not good for the overall product. And the NCAA is going to have to do something about it, but knowing how crappy of an organization the NCAA is, I'm not holding out hope that they're going to do anything anytime soon. So we'll have to see where this goes, but it is a totally bizarre world in college sports right now. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's it on my Wisconsin sports rants. Other than that, again, just always watching for pickups. Have not seen a lot that I would like to add. As far as like personal stuff, the family and I are doing a 5K tomorrow morning, so that should be fun. It's supposed to be possibly windy and raining, so that could be interesting. But the temperature in Wisconsin is supposed to be 77 degrees tomorrow, possibly, with chance of storms. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And one thing I did purchase recently that just came in today was a piece of exercise equipment that I will, if you guys want to hold on for 1 second, I will go show you. So hang in there. All right, so this is the Rogue Monster Light 1 squat rack. And get a little closer look at it. You can see the bar that I purchased there. It's an Ohio bar. And some of the weights I purchased as well to go along with that, and plates. So yeah, I purchased this to kind of enhance my workout situation. Basically, I have some dumbbells, power blocks that I've been using for basically the last 15 months. I've been kind of on a steady workout program, so it's been great and been able to make a lot of progress in a lot of different areas. But there are just some things that are easier to do with a barbell. So I wanted to grab this squat stand and barbell setup. Obviously, I'm able to do squats. Um, I'm kind of getting into the point with the dumbbell squats that they're getting to be higher weights. So trying to like lift, you know, large number poundage of weights on your shoulders to get them up above your shoulders is a bit of a challenge. So in an effort to save my shoulders, I decided to go with the squat rack and the barbell situation here. So really enjoying it so far. You can also use it for bench press, which I am as well. Barbell bench press, usually I was doing just uh, dumbbell bench press, so it's going to be kind of interesting to add that to the mix as well. I can also start doing some stuff with deadlifts as well, and there's just some other exercises like barbell rows that I'm excited to institute into my routine. So um, although I haven't got a lot of cards coming in, I was able to snag this setup, which is pretty cool. And I'm really excited to add that into my routine here. Again, this is the Monster Light from Rogue squat stand. So just thought I'd share that with you. Other than that, gosh, hope you guys all have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the draft. Enjoy the NBA playoffs if you have a team, and enjoy baseball. If your team has started out hot, good for you. And we'll talk to you guys all again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.